Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Spooktober. For the whole month of this month, which is October, we will do a special part in this 1 year 365 podcast or series, and we will have a section which is this one where we will actually talk about horror. Um, for all the month for the full month of October basically. And yeah, we will actually discuss anything that is similar or close to horror, like the lore, cryptic horror stories and stuff like that. And I have already gathered some topics, um but not haven't done made everything just yet. But yeah, since we are at the first day of October, or in the first day of Spooktober, or the first part, basically, we'll just start going for it. And the first topic will be, this one. If you guys remember Five Nights at Freddy's, the pizzeria one, Five Nights at Freddy, pizza simulator or something like that, pizzeria simulator or something like that, right? I kind of forgot what's the actual name, right? um, but yeah, in that specific game there is a section which you can actually interact with Candy Cadet over here. This one, the name Candy Cadets, right? I don't think there's a picture of Candy Cadets in this page. At least I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. So if you don't know who Candy Cadet is, I suggest you to Google, the image first. Um, Basically, Candy Cadets is, kinda animatronic, if I would say myself. It's more like electronic animatronic. It's not really it's not really animatronics that will actually move by its own. I mean, it can actually, I think, but he is more like stationary. So yeah. Um, so what about Candy Cadet? Apparently, in that game specifically, in Candy Cadet, if you interact with it, it will actually eventually, right, like with low chance, it will actually really tell you a story, because if I remember correctly, he would say, come back and maybe I will tell you a story or something like that, right? And if you keep coming back to it, uh, playing with it or trying it out, you will actually get stories eventually. And there are three stories. And the first time I read, I heard or read about that, it's actually kind of spooky and scary. It's more like an unsettling story, um, which we'll, talk and discuss in this video. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it. This one is from Strive from the Shadows. In general discussion, okay. Five Nights at Freddy's Wiki. The date is it's either 8th of December 2017 or 12th of August 2017. I don't know which one of which, but yeah, you got it right. Um, okay, so here we go. Candy Cadet stories. I copied these out for reference, so I'll just post them here for anyone who wants to study them. Yep, that's me. That's us. Basically, we will discuss about it, I guess. Okay, the first story is this one. Now I will tell you a story about a young woman who was sealed in a small room. In the room was a furnace and five keys. She was told that each of the five keys would unlock one of five doors outside her room. Sealed in a small room. Unlock five doors outside her room. Okay, so she was in a room, and if she went out of the room, she will eventually found five doors, right? Okay. Inside its room was a child. Okay, its room has a child apparently. that she could take with her as she fled the building. Okay. But she was only allowed to leave her own room with one key, not all five. Okay. Desperate to find a way to save all five children, the woman melted the five keys together in the furnace to create a single key, hoping it would unlock all five doors. Of course, it did not work that way. Now her key opened none of the doors. Rather than living there with the key to one life, she had taken with her the key to five deaths. Okay, so that's the first one, right? So, um, okay, first of all, I basically have no idea about the story in this one, the Candy Cadet story. Referred to the actual lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, right? So it might have some like resemblance, or maybe this one actually is not random story. This is actually a story that is a part of the lore, probably, right? Like, um, there are five kids that needs to be saved, and then the woman is probably like some random woman, right? Maybe the the child, the daughter of Afton, probably, right? That still makes sense, right? But I don't actually know, like why or how it is actually tied to the original lore of Five Nights at Freddy. I'm pretty sure some people already figured it out. Not some, but more like many people, most people in the community probably already know about the story. So yeah, there's that. I personally, I don't know the tie between this story to the actual lore. So yeah, I will kind of interpret this to my own, right? Okay, so a woman was sealed in a small room, right? First, how did she go out when she was sealed, right? She was sealed in a small room. Define the word sealed. Like, is it like she was tied and then like has some tapes across her mouth or something like that, or has tapes or had tapes um tying her hands or legs or whatever, right? Or like, or sealed as in sealed, like locked room, right? uh which is weird, right? And then in the room there are five keys, right? And then there's furnace as well. Now this one is also doesn't really make any sense at first, right? In the room was a furnace, but uh why is it only furnace? Like, is there nothing else over there? Like, what's the scenario over here? Was the woman kind of kidnapped, or was he kind of either kidnapped, or I don't know, like maybe she owned the house, I mean, or I don't know, right? But yeah, if she was in the house, like, um I only assume that it's not her house, right? Therefore, that's why we were told that she tried to escape and fled the building, right? But why though? Why did she want to fled the building? What's going on? Is there like a fire? Is the building on fire? If so, then how did she have the time to actually melt, the five keys and then create a single key, right? And then like waiting for it to go hot, and then waiting for it to go cold as well, right? And then figure that there is nothing else in the room, right? Because it's only mentioned that there's a furnace and there's nothing else, apparently. I mean, it could still be something else, but it's not mentioned, right? um like, even if it's a furnace, if I remember correctly how furnace work, I think there is like a door to open and close the furnace, right? Like every furnace has that door, right? To either insert the fuel or insert what is it, like whatever you want to cast inside, right? Why didn't she try to rip that off? Because it's metal, right? And then try, like smashing it into the door, right? Because the doors to the children are locked, right? Like, did she not try to break the doors? I mean, like maybe using that piece of door that is in the furnace, like maybe use her own door, or I don't know, like maybe um like maybe melt the keys and then craft a, I don't know, something sharp, probably, right? Like a knife or something, right? It's not like after she failed to unlock, she failed and then the children died immediately, right? It's not like that. I think anyway. She still has time, right? She still had time, like maybe melt the single key, like I said, make it into some kind of sharp tool, right? Or like pointy tool or something like that, uh, which then you can use to either rip the door, or I don't know, right? But then again, how big the door is, how big the door was, and then how tough the door was, like it's not an electric door, right? It's just a door because it has keys, right? And we're actually talking about real keys, not like card keys and using the electric door, right? It's not like that. But yeah, it's kind of weird. um yeah, but yeah, it's kind of weird, like the scenario, right? But still, it's still a creepy story, I guess, because maybe she was confused and she couldn't do anything, right? And then she just ran away. But then again, the last sentence over here, rather than living there with the key to one life, she had taken with her the key to five deaths. Well, it's not entirely true as well, because saving one life doesn't mean that the other four is also saved. Um, it's more like, rather than living there with the key to four deaths, she had taken with her the five deaths, right? It's either four or five, so it's not really her fault. And again, it's not like when she ran away, then the children just died immediately, right? Unless there is like some kind of Saw trap movie, Saw movie trap, whatever, and the children immediately died, right? Which would probably happen considering this is Five Nights at Freddy's, but I don't think so. But yeah, like even if she ran away, she could then try to help, right? Try to get help from, I don't know, like the authority or the police, or the people, right? But yeah, still a creepy story. Okay, second one. Now I will tell you a story about a little boy. He had a red snake that he kept in a metal cage, whose hunger could not be satisfied. One day the boy found five baby kittens outside his house. He brought them inside and kept them in a shoe box. He knew that the snake might kill them, but could not bring himself to get rid of the snake. Okay, wait. I will try to um, digest the story again. Okay, he had a red snake in a metal cage, hungry, right? One day the boy found five baby kittens. He brought them inside, kept them in a shoe box. He knew the snake killed them, but could not bring himself to get rid of the snake. Okay, he knew that if he chose one kitten to feed to the snake, it might be satisfied, but he could not choose. Yeah, because it will be so sad, right? Um, so he went to bed, leaving the cage open. The snake went to the shoebox, chose a kitten at random, and ate it. After 5 nights had gone by, the boy was full of regret and cut the snake open. He pieced the remains together and put the kitten back into the shoebox. Okay, is that is messed up. Okay, okay, so here we go. A little boy, right? Did he live by himself? Did he live with someone else, right? And then he had a red snake that kept in metal cage, whose hunger could not be satisfied. Okay, here there's this the first problem. He had a red snake. In metal cage, hunger could not be satisfied. So before the five kittens came, what did this little boy feed the red snake then? Surely before the five kittens arrived, the red snake already, was probably already there for a while, right? It's probably like a pet, right? What did it eat then? I mean, what did it eat then? Right? Like, maybe the little boy, like released the red snake into his parents' room, and then the red snake killed his parents, probably, right? Again, this is all in Five Nights at Freddy's, right? Nothing is impossible over here. Like any scenario that is very, terrifying and gruesome, it's probably possible over there, right? Therefore, yeah, that's why I asked about that. What did the red snake eat before the kittens even arrived? Like it certainly was not baby snake, right? Because then, like I don't know, it might be a baby snake as well, but I don't think baby snake will have that big of hunger. So, seeing this, whose hunger could not be satisfied, I would just assume that the red snake is an adult snake, right? Like, maybe a python, basically, right? Yeah, like python, right? And then again, one day the boy found five baby kittens outside his house. Okay, the second is, since this is a boy, a little boy, therefore I would kinda get it that he would not be smart enough to do something, right? Like thinking about try to find food from outside, right? Like I don't know, ask for people basically, right? Like, again, where did he live? With whom did he live? And stuff like that. Maybe this is the story about, again, another son of Afton, because we know that Michael Afton, I think, right, had three children, right? Two boys and one girl, if I remember correctly. Maybe I was wrong. Most potentially, I was wrong, right? But still, I think the purple guy, or I think the purple guy is one of the son. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, I know that Afton had children, right? It's a boy and girl. I don't know how many of them, but I know it's a boy and girl. So I don't know if this boy is actually Afton's son. So yeah, um, I guess I get it because we never know where their mom is, right? Like his dad is Afton, obviously, but what about the mom, right? We know that it's probably close to Pelora, but then again, like we never know where she was, right? She was never mentioned, I think. Maybe she was, but I don't know, like she was like never really have appearance in the games, right? Like like common appearance, right? Like Freddy, right? Freddy always there, right? Like Freddy the bear, he's always there, like yeah, like basically the main animatronics, right? I mean the Bellora is there as well, but we never really know about her backstory, right? um I mean, I think yeah, like I know there's already like a story that tells about that, but at this specific moment, I don't think we actually know about that. But anyway, that's not the point. The point was, like who the boy lives with. Is it his parents? Is it someone else? Is it alone? But then again, if he was alone, how did he actually survive by himself, right? Surely not only the red snake that needs food, but he himself will also need food, right? So yeah, there's that. Um, but yeah, anyway, again, like I kind of get it because it's see, he was only a little boy, right? He probably couldn't think about ask for help, right? And then okay, the next part was this one. So he went to bed, leaving the cage open. This is also a problem, right? The third one, okay? This is also a problem because he he had the snake with him, right? Like in his bed, right? Probably. I mean, I think so. Anyway, I would assume that the snake is actually in his room because uh, I think yeah, because this one he knew that the snake might kill them, but could not bring himself to get rid of the snake. So it means that he loved the snake, right? I would only assume that he had the snake in his bedroom as well, because I don't know about this, but I think most people kinda have their pets with them in their bedroom as well, and not out in the open, right? Like in the living room, or I don't know, like in the watching room, um, family room or whatever, right? Yeah, like if you have fish, and then like in a small aquarium, it's probably in your room, right? And then there's probably like reptiles as well, like lizard or salamander, or like a spider as well, probably, or turtle. You probably have those pets in your room, right? Like in a glass cage, right? And then like, I mean, I have cat over here, and I always let her sleep with me in the bed. So like, I think it's possibility, right, that the snake red snake pet was actually in his room. So the problem was that the snake could also eat the little boy, right? So this is actually a problem as well. But then again, he is only a little boy. Maybe he didn't think that far, right? Leaving the cage open. What if the snake just decided to slither its way to the bed, right? And then I don't know, like biting the feet. I don't know. I mean, this red snake. I mean, adult snake can't really eat human. I mean, yeah, sure. At some cases, the big anaconda probably um, can eat people, right? But here, I think this rat snake is probably like regular adult, like I don't know, like maybe not longer than 1 meter, and then the diameter is probably not more than 20 centimeters or something like that. Yeah, like I would only assume that it's actually averagely small. But all right, I guess. I mean, the snake, if the snake was that small, I guess the snake couldn't eat the boy like whole, right? The snake would need to eat piece by piece, right? But then again, human uh body, like human bones and then meat, and then yeah, like human body was not that easy to tear apart anyway, I guess, yeah. But anyway, okay, so the snake ate the kitten one by one, right? All right, and then uh yeah, okay. And then after that, the boy was full of regret, and cut the snake open with what? How did he cut the snake open? Is it using a regular knife or scissor or razor blade or like cutter probably, right? But then again, is it actually possible to do that to a snake? I mean, it's possible, but didn't the snake would have like what is it, like resisting, right? Like I don't know, maybe attack back, but whatever. So he did it. He cut the snake open, and then he pieced the remaining together and put the kitten back into the shoe box, which is messed up, right? So basically, the boy killed the snake, and letting the five kitten died in the first place as well. Yeah, I mean, sounds like Afton's children again. I don't know, but yeah, okay. Creepy story, but yeah, okay. I mean, the first time I heard these stories, it's actually creepy, but then trying to actually make sense out of it, it it doesn't make any sense. It's creepy, yes. Does it make sense? Not really, but yeah. Now I will tell you a story. Okay, this is the third one. A story about a kind man who would visit five orphans and bring them toys and gladness. Um, the man lived alone and lived in fear that someone might break into the house of one of the five children. Visit five orphans, bring them toys. The man lived alone. Okay. Fear that someone might break into the house of one of the five children. Okay, so um, okay, from this part alone, we know that the five orphans had their own house, right? So one house, one orphan. Again, you know, did the orphan live by themselves? Did the orphan live by the parents, right? Why was the man feared that someone might break into the house of one of the children, right? But okay. So he adopted all five and brought them together in one place in his own home. Okay, so the five orphans, um, obviously they were orphan, right? But the thing is that is it actually possible to have orphan live by themselves, and not by a guardian? Like uh, there they didn't have guardians, right? And I also assume that these five orphans were actually kids or children because again the toys and gladness, right? Bring them toys basically, and toys were for children like generally, right? So yeah, I assume the five orphans were still kids, but then again, like did they really live by themselves without guardian? Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? But okay. So he adopted all five and brought them together in one place in his own home. Okay, he promised them to never leave them, and they promised to always come home and never stay out too late. He left one day to buy food, his heart being filled with gladness, but returned to find that the burglar had chosen his home and killed all five of the children. The man could only afford one coffin, so he staged the five bodies together to make one and buried the child. That night there was a knock at the door. Okay, this is probably the most messed up one. Um, because okay, so the first story said that five children died, right? And then the second one, five kitten got stitched, right? Stitched, got stitched in the end. Um, and then the third one was the combination of the two, right? It was five children died, and then five children got stitched together, basically, right? Yeah, it's actually messed up, honestly. Again, so maybe this one actually is Afton, probably, because his kid, this one was the daughter, right? um, he took part of his story, which was about her, failing to save five children, right? And then this one was his son, staging five kittens at once, right? And then, like another part of him, right? And then this one is himself, five children, five stitch, and yeah, messed up, honestly. But yeah, again, it's these are all creepy story, but then if you try to make sense, it doesn't, right? It doesn't make sense, but it's still entertaining. The reason why I want to talk about this is because just how creepy it is, especially with Candy Cadet's voice. Uh, Candy Cadet's voice is robotic, right? Because he's clearly a robot or animatronics. Then he didn't have emotion in the voice, right? Therefore, when you actually heard this story from him, it's actually far more creepier. But yeah, that's about it. I guess it's been like 30 minutes already, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. This is the first day of Spooktober, which is about Candy Cadet's creepy stories. I hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you again tomorrow with another Spooktober day 2. And yeah, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you again very, very soon. And see ya.